Welcome back to the podcast. It's been a minute.
Yo.
Glad to be here with you guys. Just want to give you some quick intros. For starters, that guy over there.
Yes, sir.
My guy Seth, aka what was it? AKA the court jester.
Oh no. Yeah, court jester.
AKA the firstborn.
Let's go.
That's Seth. We got a special guest with us here today.
Nice guest today.
Our guy, the Haitian Hero.
Oh, I like that.
The Creole Champ.
That. Yes.
Our guy Willie.
Yes.
He's Marvel, big time Marvel head. He's joining us. And I'm Fred. I don't have any nicknames because they didn't give me any. But you are joining us here for The Kick.
Pretty sure we can make some on the spot.
No, we don't need any. Yeah, it's The Kick with Seth and Fred. Welcome back. We're here to talk about what's coming up. We're on our way later on today to go see Captain America: Brave New World.
Let's go.
This is what everybody's been waiting for, I think.
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Yes.
1,000,000%. It's the return of Marvel. Hopefully.
What you mean?
Tonight. Because they've fallen off in the past, I don't know, 5 years? COVID? Fallen heavy.
That's why we got Mr. Marblehead over here.
I'm glad we're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Because we have some feelings. I don't feel like they fell off.
Oh.
I am not one of those folks who has been disappointed. I have thoroughly enjoyed Eternals. You can hate on Marvels, but I like the Marvels. We're going to talk about it. Look, the Haitian Hero. What was the other one? The Creole Champ. I love it. Let's go. Let's go.
I thought I was the one with the hot takes.
Yeah, let's go.
That is great.
Let's go.
All right, so
The box office would stay a little bit different.
And if you are solely going off of box office and numbers and how much money it's making, then cool. Then yes, you have a valid point there. But if you're a person who's like aesthetically did this advance a story in the overall universe, then I think that's that's where I would differ and be like, maybe that's not the type of fan that I am.
all right,
I'll give that to Eternals, though. I'll give that to Eternals.
Yeah, you like Eternals too.
Yeah. I'll give that to Eternals.
I did not, but that's fine. To each his own.
Right.
So, all right. So let's get a baseline though.
Okay.
All right. So for you, like the closest to perfect Marvel movie or sequence of Marvel movies, in your opinion, what would that be?
It's got to be Infinity and Endgame.
Okay.
Like that whole lead up, even knowing.
So he's not crazy.
No.
Just one shot in there.
No. That to me, I have never, aside from Black Panther, I've never walked out of a movie theater just like breath taken away. And I knew fully what was going to happen. Like I read the comics. So it's not like it was like, surprise, people got dusted, or surprise.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. That Thanos was going to lose, that the whole thing would get reset. But I was like, the way they executed in terms of the Russo brothers, I felt was so near perfect. And I'm not one to give a 10 out of 10 for anything. It's always going to be a Keith Lee, like 9.8. Because I just don't think, once you give that 10, it's like, all right, where do you go from there? And I always feel like there's something you can do to continue the story visually, make it appealing to both those who are the old comic heads as well as someone who's like, hey, there's a movie, let's go catch it. You not knowing anything and watching that
Like
to enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah. High standards.
But yeah, for me,
You don't give 10 out of 10.
No.
But was there a but?
No, don't give it 10 out of 10. And Black Panther for me was like a 9.8, just sensational. And then knowing what was going to happen in Infinity War, and then seeing Endgame was beautiful. Beautiful.
That's crazy.
What you got?
The 9/8 are amazing. That's comic book like terminology right there.
What's your baseline? Like, are we saying the same thing? Infinity War, Endgame, that span?
Yeah. 100%. Infinity War. Yeah. Infinity War, Endgame, and I honestly would put the last Spider-Man in that category too.
No Way Home.
Yeah, No Way Home. Like those three are like the baseline, top tier, 9.9. Like, just that's where you got to measure up to.
For No Way Home, was it the bringing back of Garfield and Maguire?
Oh, 1,000,000%.
Okay.
1,000,000%. It was that. It was a story mode. The storyline, and it was just also bringing back the villains. Like it didn't feel like because the multiverse, I mean, got kind of tiring, but it didn't feel like. I feel like Spider-Man would be like the only one you can really truly do that with and get away with, and not have anyone ever come back on you like, hey, what was that?
Why all
you know what I mean?
This was everybody was asking for,
right?
Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And so I feel like that one was just perfect. And they brought back the original people, like, and they paid. It was homage. They were all working together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like I heard about Deadpool or whatever, and it was like, okay, they killed off the Fox universe or whatever. Like, okay, that would I guess kind of cool. But like these characters play like a main role, and they're. It's crazy because like it didn't just end there. You know what I mean? Like they came to help out, but like it doesn't just say like, oh, we're not gonna ever not see you again. So like now like it opens up Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield to have future roles in future Marvel films, which is like that's you know what I mean? That's crazy.
That's dope. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then they gave like Doc Ock a nice send off. Like everything was just like it felt like you honestly picked up after Spider-Man 2, honestly.
Was anybody looking for a nice send off for Doc Ock? Is there a Reddit board that was asking respect to Doc Ock? Right.
Out of all the Maguire villains, I think he would have got the send off. Right. You know, like
Not Green Goblin?
whatever.
No.
Doc Ock?
Yeah, Doc Ock, and maybe Harry, obviously, because that was his homeboy. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like those two would have got Eddie Brock, Green Goblin. Like, yeah, forget about him. But Doc Ock, he was cool at the end. He's like at the end, like even though the chip blew up, he was like, "Save yourself, Peter. I'm sorry." You know.
I'll give you that.
Right?
I'll agree with that.
So those are the top three for me.
All right.
Everything I ever wanted in a Marvel movie, and all three of those, and then obviously No Way Home because it was like before Avengers coming back on. It was
so my range, and I don't just limit it to one movie. It's a range for me. It's from. It's basically from Winter Soldier to Endgame, and those 4 movies that the Russos did. And this is the reason why I have a little bit of hope for Marvel. It's because they're coming back for these next 2 Avengers movies.
It's true.
But shout out to the Russo brothers. They
come on our podcast
for sure. They actually directed many episodes of one of my favorite TV shows, which we need to come back to.
Andor,
not Andor.
Oh, never mind.
Community.
Oh yes, that's right. Let's go.
That's
Pop.
right.
Let's go. Right? Continuity. Pop. Yes,
that's kind of where they got their jump off, and so a lot of the cast from Community actually has cameos. Has cameos in their 4 movies.
Yeah. Interesting.
But yeah, anything from you go Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame, that whole span, and the one-offs in between. Including Captain Marvel, which people kind of hated on. I thought Captain Marvel was a decent movie.
Wait, the first one, right? Not the Marvels.
I haven't seen the Marvels.
Okay. Yeah,
Are y'all gonna kick me out of this conversation?
No, the Marvels absolute trash. But I'm sorry to still
one man's trash is another man's treasure. And how you're able to connect certain things again, if you're only thinking about numbers and money, then yeah, I can see how you would say that it's trash.
No.
Well, I didn't call it trash.
I haven't seen it. You admit it. You haven't seen it.
I haven't seen either, but I just heard
okay.
It was trash.
So a man who hasn't seen the junk is saying that it's trash. This is sensational.
You seem a little defensive.
No.
He's locked out the Marvel.
I got no affiliate links to it whatsoever. Okay. However,
we'll accept some.
Exactly. However, I do feel some type of way of like folks who haven't seen it being like, yo, this movie was booty, but you've never seen this stuff. Like, at least watch it to be able to say like, hey, I didn't like this or didn't appreciate the direction of this. She could have done X, Y, or Z. Why did... Cool. I can respect that, but if you haven't seen it, How are you going to be hating from outside the club? You can't even get in.
You gotta convince us, man. You gotta convince us to watch it at least.
But now I need you to ground this for me. All right, because I asked you about your favorites.
Yes.
But are there any Marvel movies where you're like, you know what, this wasn't for me? Okay. I wasn't feeling this. They didn't do a good job on this.
How far of a span are we talking? Are we talking like original Hulk?
No, let's start.
When he was fighting the dogs, like, are we talking that far back?
Let's start from
now. Daredevil, you know, like,
let's go from. We can talk about those, but let's go from MCU, which is Iron Man, 2008,
Hulk,
and forward.
Right. Yeah. All right.
So, what didn't work for you?
I think because of Endgame and Infinity. I'm like, it was necessary to get there. So I am not, I'm trying to really think about it, which is a really good question. Like, hey, what would I throw in that category or that bucket of like, hey, this movie was trash? And I'm reluctant to say anything was.
What about the TV shows?
Oh.
You was rocking with She-Hulk?
Yeah. I think that's different. I'm a bit more critical of the TV shows.
Oh.
Yeah.
Shield fell off.
Right.
Loki was good.
In the beginning, Loki to me.
In the beginning, Shield was crazy though.
And I think
Shield was awesome.
Prior to MCU being what it became, I think Shield was just like, no, we're doing our own thing, and so that's cool.
Talking about Agents of Shield.
Agents of Shield.
Yeah.
How do we fold this in so that Coulson is
part of it?
Yeah.
It's like they made that show because people liked Agent Coulson.
Right.
Yeah, like, no, we got
of Coulson.
We gotta give him some more reps.
Yeah.
Then he didn't really. After that, he just kind of died off.
Yep.
Well, he died in the first Avengers movie.
Lame.
And then he wasn't really dead.
Yeah.
What was that dude from Black Panther? That guy helped out more. What was homie's name?
It's not Ross.
Nah.
So, and that's the other thing I want to ask.
The white dude.
I want to ask Willie about.
The villain you're talking about.
No, the good guy.
About the white savior.
Yeah, the white. Yeah, right.
You talking about Dr. Watson from Sherlock? What's his name?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Homeboy.
Yeah. Yep.
I forget his name.
Yeah, look his name.
What do you? Have you ever heard of the white savior trope?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's not real.
Yeah. Absolutely.
He's heard of it.
Yeah.
Is that a real thing?
It's a real thing.
I heard you explaining it to me, but what? So who was the white savior? Who was the white savior in Black Panther 2 then?
Oh no, they made sure.
Exactly.
Not making no mistakes.
No, that was firmly like, look, every single person in this is going to be a person of color, even if they're blue. Like, we are not having no white heroes.
It did just feel like the story of. Yeah, I'm gonna stay safe on that one.
Nah, go ahead.
We're not getting canceled. Episode 2, 3.
Everett Ross. That was his name.
There you go. Oh, so he's a Ross.
Is he a Ross?
If he's in this movie, that's crazy pull right there.
Well, he probably will be. Well, I could see how they could make some sort of connection, if not in this one, definitely in Thunderbolts, because his character is supposedly, or was married to, what's her name? Julia Louis-Dreyfus' character. So there's a connection there. So what was the last one? I'm blanking out, but I'm a bit more critical of the TV shows just because I feel like the TV shows. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
With the TV shows, there's a bit more time to develop and flesh things out. And so when it doesn't land, I'm just like, oh man, you had, even if it is 6 to 8 episodes, you had time to work things out or write it a certain way. Whereas with the movie, it's like, no, I got it. Like, we got 2 to 2.5 hours to hit X, Y, Z, maybe 1, 2, 3 things. Like, and that may not always go well. But with the TV show, you talk about She-Hulk, yeah.
So you actually give less leeway for the TV shows because they have more time.
I feel, yeah.
As opposed to, the standard for a TV show is a little bit higher.
Yeah. I feel like you've got more time to do certain things. And if you choose just one or two things or three things, and like just make sure that you're answering those questions or advancing
Right.
in between one project to the next, so that us, the viewer, if you are a firm and you have the knowledge, you're like, all right, great, they're calling to this. This might lead to that. And if you're a person who has no idea, at least you're just like, oh, that's cool. All right. So like when in Secret War we learned that Rhodey was a Skrull and whatnot, I'm like, hold on, I'm going back then to Civil War.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I'm going back to Civil War. I'm like, so you mean to tell me he fell out of the sky, got his legs jacked up, and then from that point forward he was...
It's one of the weaker moments
in
the MCU in Marvel Studios for me.
Yeah,
it's
agreed.
Like Rhodey was a Skrull.
Yeah,
that means he was a Skrull in Endgame.
Yep.
Come on.
Yeah.
Did you watch Secret Invasion?
Nope. This is all a spoiler for me.
Yeah.
Whoops.
That's why though. I wasn't planning on watching that one.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you, aside from the TV shows, when we're talking about the movies, you appreciate them all because they've all built up to a certain point.
Yes.
Even post Endgame.
Yes.
You feel like, all right, I'm getting the content.
I've got an idea. Yeah. I'm like, I have an idea as to what could possibly be done, and it doesn't seem so far-fetched and out there. I'm not going to lie. When I found out that RDJ is coming back and he's some sort of variant of Doom, I paused for a second. I was just like, okay, I'm now really in the dark because I see how you can do it, but this also feels like without...
Gimmicky?
Yeah, like without him, without like the originals, without Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, like certain people, it's like, oh, you don't think this can succeed without them.
Well, like Star Wars bringing back Palpatine.
Yeah, he's alive. Golly.
But do you think that he's ever going to take off the mask? Like, are we ever going to see Robert Downey Jr.'s
face? 1,000,000%. Or else it
I think
wouldn't
so,
be
yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. Yeah. They would just cast someone else for that.
No, I think that...
I really think he's going to take it off.
I think Robert Downey Jr. is such a good actor and performer that even with the mask on, he brings a certain level of, of character where I feel like he can do it with the mask on. And that's the reason why I kind of expect that he's not going to take the mask off. If he takes the mask off, that's going to break some disbelief.
Gotta take the mask off.
We though, as the consumers, know that he is behind the mask. If they had played that closer to the chest and sort of like revealed it that he was that person, then it would have been like, oh snap.
Yeah, they should have waited on
But the moment we knew like, oh, RDJ's coming back as Doom.
But okay.
That's what for me makes it feel gimmicky. Mm-hmm. It's like you had to announce that. Like, I feel like Marvel's done such a great thing about, keeping those inner moments that fans know.
Yeah.
And releasing them when the time is due. Like 10 years for Captain America to finally say Avengers Assemble.
Yeah.
10 years for him, or a couple years for him to at least finally pick up the hammer. You know what I mean? Or like there's certain like scenes that they waited a long time for. People are like when they finally see it, it's like, yo, you know what I mean? No Way Home. Like, oh, what? Like,
you see?
So if they would have had RDJ and then in some scene, whatever, Dr. Doom is pulling up to Mr. Fantastic's, got him, held up in the ice chair, like, like the original one, boom, and then he takes off his mask and it's RDJ, that would have broke the internet.
Yes.
That would have broke the internet, broke the box office. They played their card a little too early because I feel like they want to reinstall like the nostalgia and get people back in the movie theaters, like
that take I will agree with 100. That gets a 10.
Yeah.
Like we saw in Age of Ultron, like Cap struggling to lift it, and all of us were like,
yeah.
Oh snap, okay. And then we were like, all right, it's not time yet.
Even Thor was like, yeah.
It was like, so if you are a person who had no idea, seeing that scene is just like, oh, it's a scene. They're in the tower. They're just all bros just trying to lift the hammer.
Yeah, exactly.
But to an old head, it's like, no.
Hey, hold
we
on.
know he can. Is this the time yet? Is this going to happen? And so when it finally does happen, and even Thor's like, I knew it. We were like, yeah, we knew it too. Yeah. And then for that to happen, and then for him to say it, I mean, that was sensational. Where the whole, at least for myself, being in the theater, the whole theater erupted
right there.
It was, and the thing I appreciated about that, there were several moments in that movie that were those moments where the whole theater was
full
like,
circle,
like,
and then and that's a 4-year payoff, like to Seth's point, like
exactly.
Ultron is in 2015. Endgame is 2019, so they're kind of stringing us along the whole time.
Yep.
And that moment, everybody erupts. And for me, who I'm a Marvel Studios fan. I'm not a Marvel comic books. I've never really been into the comic books, so I'm not on the level where it's like, that means something.
Yeah.
I can tell from the story that it's going to be significant. But when it finally came out, it's just for the same way it was for you, maybe not to the same degree, but I'm like, hey, that's dope.
But
that's
I think,
payoff,
I think collectively, everyone who was in that theater, when they saw Mjolnir go in that direction, and you're like, hold on, Thor's over here getting his butt whooped by Thanos, and it goes in this direction. Snap! And to see him just bip, 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 bip.
And then he started cleaning them up.
Yes! We all were just like, yes. And so to know that you didn't have to be, and to your point about the Russos being brilliant, like they made sure that everyone in that moment, we were all on the same page of like, yes, this is dope. When Wong says to Strange, like, you wanted more? We all were just like, yes, give us more. Open up more portals. Have the whole crew come out. We were like, and I think collectively, I think that's the thing, speaking to what Seth is saying, of like, if they held RDJ, just let us assume whoever, we could hear the voice and maybe our brains would have been like, yo, that sounds like Robert. Yo, is that real?
Let the forms
let
run,
let it go.
Easter eggs be dropped, and
then for him to
be talking, tweeting, TikTok, let everybody be
I feel what you're saying. I don't think that in this day and age it's possible to have that level of suspense continue for a long time. But let me ask you this. Okay, so do you remember? Did you ever see 10 Things I Hate About You?
Yes, with Heath Ledger.
With Heath Ledger.
Julia Stiles,
right? Okay.
Even what's his name? You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He was in Inception.
Yes.
Right. Yes.
So all right. So you take that Heath Ledger who's dancing in the stands and acting the clown, right?
Yep.
And then you drop him in Dark Knight.
Yes.
It's a completely different person.
Yes.
Okay. So you don't feel like Robert Downey Jr. can give you that, this is a completely different person because of the depth of this performance?
That's not what I'm questioning. I know RDJ as an actor will bring it and will be dope. My thing is, to what Seth was saying, like, hey, you're telling us this right now so that the folks who are like, the beginning of the MCU, that's when it was great. That was the golden era. We need RDJ. That's the reason why you're dropping it, as opposed to like, hey, the story.
Got you.
The story, like, you could have had anybody. Like, it didn't have... Like, when I first heard that Pascal was going to be Reed in Fantastic Four, I was like, I know he's a dope actor. I've watched him in Mandalorian. I've watched him in other things. I know he can do it. I'm waiting...
With the helmet on.
I'm waiting... Because this is the way. I'm just waiting to see it and be like, yes, that works.
Okay.
Even for Homeboy, who's going to turn into the Thing, where no longer you're going to see his face. But I was like, yo, I saw you in Quiet Place Day One. You can act. I know you can. But to now where it's not about your face, it's about like, okay, are you Grim? Can you embody him? And even now with the memes where he's tasting the thing, I'm just like, I can't wait to see how it all comes together. That's the point that at least for me, I'm like, how does that advance the story? And I think when you tell us so early on that RDJ is going to be Doom, I don't feel like that advances a story. That's just like, hey.
So did you want them to hold it until the movie comes out, or are you just saying
I would
not 4 years in advance?
The Haitian Hero would have loved for you to hold that card close to your chest and let us be like, oh, snap. Like you were saying, tickle my brain a little, like, yo, his voice, his mannerisms, certain things that we know that RDJ did with Stark.
Like, dude, like something like, or at least like, I would have been fine with like an end scene. You know what I mean? Like an end scene would have been perfect. Like someone walking in,
they
see the mask.
Yes.
They pop. They drop the mask down. You see a shot of the mask. Okay. Oh snap! That's Doom.
Yeah.
And then cut to RDJ. And then you go home and you're like, what's going on? Okay. Then the conversations start happening again. Because then the whole car ride. That's what I missed. The car ride home. You're just like, yo, blah blah blah. Yeah. Everyone's talking about this or that or this or like. Now you get to speculate.
Yes.
There's no room for speculation now.
When's the last time they had an end credit scene that made you feel that way though?
There's a bunch of them. Yeah. I mean, let's see. Let me think of the exact last one. I mean, one of the most popular. I remember the first one when it was like the end of Incredible Hulk when it's Captain Ross right there, and then RDJ walks in and it's like, oh snap!
But
like,
when's the last?
Tony Stark.
When's the most recent?
We expect there to be end scenes that sort of then set us up for what's next. Like, I think all of us in the beginning, when we didn't know and we got those mid to end screen, we were like, oh, snap, there was something else?
Yeah.
That when the first time Thanos turns around and is like, fine, I'll do it myself.
Right.
We were like, okay, are they setting it up for Infinity War? And then we saw, okay, you are. So that means they're going to have to bring so-and-so, bring so-and-so,
Oh, I know. I remember. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
I remember the last one. The last one was Eternals. The last one was Eternals when they pretty much, like peed off the big, what are they called again? The Celestial. And homie was like, yo, like they just cooked one of my Celestials that was about to be born. Yeah. Like, nah, we're gonna have to handle this. And it's like, okay, like something crazy is about to happen. You know what I mean?
It's about to happen. Is it still about to happen?
I think they're gonna run that way. They have to run that way of the Celestials right now. I think they're running in the way of Celestials. I think they're running in the direction of obviously Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer, and then along with that comes Galactus. Yeah. I feel like Galactus is going to be the next Thanos. Like if they run that direction, it's perfect because you bring in Fantastic Four.
Is Galactus a Celestial?
I don't know if he's a Celestial or not, but I believe he might be, or he's just a world eater. But either I think he might be because Silver Surfer kind of like does his bidding or whatever.
He's a herald, yeah.
So he might. Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna play that into that one, but I mean, I feel like that's like the next Thanos, like evil villain. You know, he might work for in the regards of Celestials. He might be like an antagonist of them. You know what I mean? Like, oh, yo, we don't like old homeboy because, like an Ego, he was doing his own thing too. You know, what's his name? Star-Lord's dad. Going off and doing his own, like, they're powerful, so it's like, all right. I just think that would be the perfect way to bring in the Fantastic Four. That would be a perfect way to bring in the, because I like the Inhumans, but the mutants are where it's at. Yes. That's the perfect way to bring in the mutants, which we have the Wolverine now, and he's already shown his face against other Fox and Marvel people. So it's like, bruh, they're Deadpool's slowly kind of bringing that stuff in, which I just hope for entertainment's sake that they keep it when they do bring it in. The mutants, it's like, all right, they're bringing in MCU PG status. Like I get they want to have their own movies or whatever, the whole Fox, but they're not there anymore. You know what I mean? So it's like,
I think that's done. I think
you think,
I think the last one for that was the Deadpool and Wolverine.
I think so, yeah.
Which, I mean, Ryan Reynolds had control over all the Deadpool stuff, and that's never happening again.
Who's gonna be the next Wolverine is what I want to see. And that's that was one of the things I was waiting for the most. Like, and like they had bought Fox at that point. So how hard would it have been to have just had a little end credit scene where you see someone's claws come out like, hey, yo, that would have been cool to have them in Infinity War, but that's super hopeful dreaming. But they have a possibility. They have a lineup of doing the same thing again, where if they already sold the RDJ take, but now you have like, okay, you can add cutscene or end scenes with mutants in there now. You know what I mean? Because we haven't seen the mutants in MCU yet. That's going to be a big help for them. Galactus, Silver Surfer, like we'll see what happens with.
So since we're talking about end scenes, let's. I was gonna save this, but
bring it out now.
Give me a prediction. So we're getting ready to see Brave New World.
Ooh,
it's gonna have end scenes.
Right.
How many do you think there will be? First of all,
it's gonna be at least 2.
So you say 2.
I'm saying 2.
You say 2.
Yep.
Okay. All right, y'all are the experts. All right, let's say there's 2. Any expectation without knowing none of us know what's gonna happen in the movie. We haven't seen it. We've avoided spoilers on it, right? So don't put none in the comments. But what do you think might happen in the end scenes?
My initial is I'm hoping that the mid is gonna have to do something with Cap, Sam Wilson, and then the end.
Wait, with who?
Sam Wilson as Captain America. Something to advance him as like, no, you are now Captain America.
Right.
You're it. Like,
keeping him.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's number one. That's the mid scene.
I
And then
the
the
opposite.
end, I feel like I hope because of Red Hulk, you give a little more time to what's his name? Scar. Banner's son. If we talked about like to now like possibly get that World War Hulk storyline into it, where there's because we have the Eric Bana Hulk, we have the Ed Norton Hulk, we don't have a standalone Ruffalo Hulk, and I would love if that could. That's one if you're holding that card. And you drop that scene that movie's actually being made, and because I haven't heard anything about that. If that were to come out, that to me, like, all right, bring them out, bring everybody back for that.
It's not a standalone, but this feels like the spiritual sequel to Incredible Hulk with
Edward Norton.
With Edward Norton,
yeah, I would say the same characters. If that actor for Captain Ross didn't pass away.
I guess besides the fact that you're replacing the two lead actors from it.
Right. The two main the antagonist and the hero.
Right. Other than that, it's like the sequel. But... Okay. All right. So, and you said 2 end credit scenes.
Definitely 2.
But, and you think it would be good for them to bring in the...
I kind of want to... Yeah. I kind of... One thing I'm hoping for is that they bring in like old man Hulk, where it's like wise Hulk, like advisor. Like Bruce Banner, old man Bruce Banner. You know, bring him in as advisor to the new Avengers, supposedly. If they want to go that route, which it kind of seems like they're doing the whole new Avenger thing anyway, because they have that chick from Black Panther, and then they have the new Miss Marvel girl, or whatever. So it seems like they're trying to not
young Avengers and old Hulk.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there was, I don't know if it was like an animated one or if it was just like some kind of other cartoon, but like they had like the new Avengers, young Avengers, or whatever, and like Hulk. They went and found Hulk. He was all old or whatever, and he just stayed as Hulk, I think, the whole time, right? Smart Hulk, and they used him as like a, like a advisor, like a wise guy, like helping him, whatever, this and that. But he couldn't fight, obviously, but he was still there and like directing him and stuff like that. Kind of like the Batman Beyond story, where it's like you're not Batman, but like you were with him. So I hope they kind of bring him in at some point.
Hulk.
Yeah, Graybeard Hulk. Bring him in and kind of like, hey, yo, what's going on? Like, what do you mean? There's another person out there using gamma? Like, hold on.
And no shade on Graybeards, by the way. Calm down on that. Anyway.
Not the pirate, but actual facial hair. But that's my first one. And then I hope I don't know. I want them to move away from this Captain America. They probably won't. But if they don't, I hope they either...
Hold on. Wait. It's February.
Yeah. That's wild.
Black History Month.
Wild.
And
he's like, we ought to move away.
Move away from him.
Why?
Move away from him.
And then do what?
In
Captain America?
Let Falcon be Falcon. Just have a Captain America with no wings. That's what I want. I don't care who plays him. I just don't want a Captain America with wings. Are you Captain Falcon now? Like, what? There's already a character for that. He's in Super Smash Brothers.
This sounds coded.
Right.
That's crazy.
This sounds like coded speech to me. What?
Well, come back next week to the kick with Pierre and Fred, because Seth got canceled during February. That's not happening. No, I just don't have the wings and the shield. And,
I'll be perfectly honest with you.
Just kind of
the wings. The wings don't work for me either.
No,
I want to see the movie. Right?
Yeah.
But Captain America flying seems
right. Pick a character. Be Captain America
like,
or be Falcon, bro. You can't be both. Hopefully, maybe he drops the wings. Maybe his wings get crushed by
the wings are indestructible. Look,
crazy.
I don't know what they're made of. Like, let's say they're made of what? Either adamantium or vibranium, or maybe some otherworldly combination of the two. But this part of the trailer where Red Hulk throws the car at him.
That's right.
Two things I'm tired of in superhero movies, action movies, whatever, is number one, people throwing cars.
But you got to.
Or throwing heavy things, or throwing people in the building. Just all the throwing.
That's what Hulk does.
But we're talking about a fight. And like, when have you ever seen somebody fight and just say, "Oh, I'm going to throw stuff now"? Like, you throw hands, you don't throw objects, right?
You guys are strong, yo.
And then he flips over the car, flips his wings out, and his wings are evidently so sharp that they cut through this car.
Nice.
Right? Like it doesn't pull him back. It has no effect on him. No. The wings just shear through this car.
Yeah.
Like it's Superman's laser vision.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm not here for it. It's the part of the trailer that I'm
to that, you know what I'm tired of? I'm tired of him kicking people. That's all he can do is just fly over and kick people. Flying kicks.
They took him out of the jeans and the t-shirt and gave him an actual costume, an actual suit. So I'm gonna give him that. And we on Willie's nerves. He's about to walk out.
I know. How many flying kicks do you guys predict? At least 5 flying kicks. We're gonna be there laughing in the theater because I guarantee you 5 flying.
The
kicks
over under has gotta be at least 7.
7. Yeah.
All right.
7.
I want him to grab his leg. If Hulk grabs his leg, if he flying kicks and just slams him,
so you're only okay if Hulk's the one who kicks people.
Yeah, he's big and huge. He throws cars.
Okay.
If you throw cars, you should be able to kick people. Right. Exactly. But homeboy only has his wings. Like you have hands too, but he can't use. What's he gonna use his hands for? Well, now he has a shield, so maybe he won't fly kick as many people. I'm gonna take the under on the 7 if that's gonna be the case.
But this is what happens when you've made 20-something superhero movies.
Yeah, true. How many more fighting moves can you do?
Yeah,
like choreographers are like.
Yep. We've done it.
Scrambling, yeah.
It's been done.
What more do you want us to do? We had Captain America pick up a shield, or pick up a hammer, and just start going crazy.
Which is fair. That's a fair point. Like the level of satisfaction
that Captain America's shield.
I think that's a fair point, though. Like the level of satisfaction that we, as movie fans, as you guys, as comic book fans, superhero fans, the level of satisfaction that Marvel Studios has given us over the last 15, 17 years.
Yeah.
That we ought to just say thank you and be like, you know what?
Yeah,
we're glad that you've done this.
Close the book
and stop like having this super high standard. Like we really expect them to beat Infinity War and Endgame.
No.
Yes,
it's probably unfair.
I do. I think they can if they play their cards right.
It's hot take time.
It's hot take. I think they can if they play their cards right.
These are the words of a crack fiend. You will never have the high you had the first time. Okay.
Like what? So you're telling me you're sitting in the movie theater, right?
Yes.
I'm definitely
and you see
the
Hulk
Chappelle gif on this.
Yes. And Hulk grabs Wolverine to throw him at another individual and claws out, and then he hits you with the "Hey, bub," and you're not going to be jumping out of your seat.
Will I feel the same thing I felt when Chris Evans picked up Mjolnir and started to go to work on?
A "Hey, bub"?
No, because
oh no,
I think.
Charles Xavier rolling through, stopping the Hulk with his brain.
No.
Oh man,
we're talking about 2 different things.
No,
that's gonna be perfect.
And maybe it's because you haven't seen everything, and like you've chosen like, oh no, I'm gonna get my hit here. Yeah. I'm gonna get my hit here. I'm not going to that. I'm not being disappointed. I think that's the difference between us. Where I'm like, no, I
need it all.
I have been to the mountaintop. I've seen the promised land. I'm good. And I recognize that the next wave or the next mountaintop is not for me to make it there. Like I'm okay now with just like walking in the valley of like
insert Thanos sitting at the end watching the sunset.
Yes.
After
that is me.
The universe, so to speak.
That is me. And I say that because for a person who wasn't there for that first scene of Robert Downey Jr. walking into that bar, like you didn't have to wait. Like you've always had just like hit after hit after hit after hit.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So like for you not to know, like no, you have to. The way it ought to work is there's an act 1,
Mm-hmm.
you rise up. Act 2, there's a fall, and then act 3 is like we get a resolution to that. If you've only been at act 3 where it's just been like
just
heavy hitter after heavy hitter after heavy, like you've never had a low. It's like
it's true. Now there was a big low before,
for sure.
The original Hulk with the dogs, that was a
my
huge
goodness,
low.
that
Daredevil was
but you know what,
trash.
though?
Elektra was kind of whatever.
The first Hulk movie, not a great movie.
No, but the very first one
with Eric Banner.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It looks amazing.
It does. It
Looks amazing.
Again, do not compare it with 2025. Do not compare it with 2020. You got to pitch yourself back at that time where, like, to see him, like, running and then having those Hulk leaps.
Okay, you know what? Yes.
There are shots when
That's
it
true.
looks like a comic book panel where,
That's
like,
true.
they've done... There's a scene where they're going...
It really is. It's a movie.
I wish they would bring
Yes.
those back, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, they did kind of in the first Avengers, the Hulk leaps, but yeah, that is
But
true.
like aesthetically, like to Fred's point, like there's a look to it that yes, I'm like, yo, this is amazing. Of course, yeah, absolutely right. Even the stuff with what's his name? Who was the villain? Who was the father?
Nick Nolte.
Nick Nolte.
Dad, yeah.
There are points where I'm just like, yo,
Electric
this
dude.
is hilarious. Ha ha, funny. Like it doesn't do anything for the story. I'm just like, I appreciate this. This is just. Again, before we have a whole universe that's being laid out before us of like, hey, yo, that scene in Thor is going to lead to this. That scene in Loki, when Loki says this, and this, and then you see in Loki season 2, he calls back to that. We didn't have that. And this is the point of why MCU has now shifted the way we watch movies. Like we're going in like, we're expecting at least one mid-end credit scene, another end credit scene. There's gonna be some sort of cameo, something that leads up to the next one. Where before it used to be like, I'm just going to watch this. How are they going to tell this story?
Yeah, I've been coddled a lot for the last 15 years. I'll give them that. That's true.
But you know, there's been this discourse about comic book fatigue, and I think there's some of that because you know, like you're saying. I have to watch this to understand why this is important, and I need to have seen this to get the significance of that. That gets taxing. It's like, I can't go see that because I didn't spend my $23 to go see that. And I didn't see that and that. Okay, I get that. But for people who are like really in it, that's probably not a problem.
No.
For me, I'm not fatigued by Star Wars. I mean, different story. We're going to have that conversation too. I'm not fatigued by Marvel movies. I've been disappointed in the quality of the stories. I've been disappointed in the production at times is like, okay, they could have spent a little bit more time on that.
Yeah, but COVID happened.
But it's really been like this story, is a story worth telling?
No.
Or are you just kind of tugging at the nostalgia factor and the heartstrings factor? And like No Way Home, everybody loved it.
You tugging them right. You're perfect.
Have you gone back to watch No Way Home?
Oh, yeah.
You have?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. 100% I have. Well, because I'm a Spider-Man head, so.
I saw No Way Home. We saw it together, matter of fact.
That was the last time you saw it?
It's the last time I saw it. I have no desire. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was fun. I have no desire to go back and watch that movie again.
What movie have you like, I could watch this again and still enjoy it?
From Marvel?
Yeah.
Probably the Iron Man movies now.
Half of them.
What would be your top 3?
So anything from the Russos. Actually, Civil War is at the bottom of the 4 Russo movies for me, but Infinity War, Endgame, Winter Soldier, I think those might be the 3 best Marvel movies, period.
Okay.
Iron Man. I actually like Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3. The end of Iron Man 2 was kind of weak. I enjoyed Iron Man 3, but I'm not the comic book head. I
feel like Iron Man 3 was weaker than Iron Man 2, but they were both still good.
So
yeah,
there's plenty of them, like when they're on, and I'm like, okay, I'll watch this, but No Way Home, the story felt unnecessary to me.
Nah, I disagree. And the only reason why I think I disagree is one, for again a Spider-Man head,
Yes.
Knowing that, okay, we get to see Toby one more time. And Garfield. I mean, they just tore that dude up for no reason.
Yeah,
for reasons that I didn't think were justifiable. So to see him get that scene when he catches Zendaya, for anyone who saw Garfield, and to see him catch him and like him do that.
Oh yeah,
and then she's like, "Are you good?" He's like,
"Yeah."
All right. Like we felt that.
That's a pivotal.
Yes.
That's a pivotal Spider-Man.
Yes,
that's probably at least top for sure. 100%. That's top 10 Spider-Man moments.
Let me just go cold, heartless right here.
Oh no,
go Kanye, go.
We're getting canceled.
Not Kanye. Heartless.
He said cold and heartless.
Listen, let me go cold, heartless.
Yeah.
What does that do for the story? Like you're talking about nostalgia. You're talking about fan service, and I get it. And there's a point to that. There's a place for it.
Yeah.
But without that,
yeah.
Was the story to No Way Home important? It was fan service.
Well, you said without nostalgia, or what does it do?
Without the nostalgia, without the fan service, was No Way Home? Was it important?
I think in setting up Spider-Man now being able to have his own this is your story now.
Yeah,
you're not Tony Stark's project. You're not like the cameo that we're like, oh snap, they're gonna bring him in. You can now create. All right, Tom, have your storyline of Spider-Man and what that means. Go for it.
And I think it was perfect because it reversed the usual common story. Like we've already seen Spider-Man get his powers twice now. You know what I mean? And two separate. This is his origin. Okay, boom. Then they went in again. This is his origin. All right, boom. Even like the animated Spider-Man. Spider-Verse. Right. Like even they kind of made like a play on that. Like where each Spider-Man has to introduce himself. Oh, I'm this. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, we get it. We know you already. So to see it backwards where we already know he's Spider-Man. He comes in. He's a kid. He's like learning from Tony Stark, whatever. Pulls at your heartstrings. Is like, all right, Tony's not there anymore. Yeah. And now he has to do it all on his own.
Didn't we do
now
that?
Now becomes
from
friendly.
Home?
Yeah, that's what I mean. So that's why I feel like Far From Home is perfect because now like it sets it like you did the story in reverse. We know his powers. We know who he is already. And now we get to see him go off on his own and do his own thing. Now you can make separate Spider-Man movies. And I feel like it was important. I think his Spider-Man in particular was like the most crucial because it was like the perfect blend. Like Peter was like the Tobey Maguire Peter was like the perfect, Peter Parker, the nerdy, whatever. But just too much, Spider-Man was kind of whatever. And then Amazing Spider-Man was like the witty, like, all right, cool, like he's super witty, it's funny, we get all the graphics and him swinging and all this kind of stuff. It's like, oh wait, perfect
Terrible
Spider-Man.
Villains, though. Okay.
Terrible villains, yeah, but perfect. Like I think it was a really good Spider-Man. And then you get, the last one, Holland. So it's like it's a perfect combination of both. Yeah. And it's like, all right, now we got the nerdy and we got the crazy Spider-Man.
Y'all got on y'all dancing shoes. I don't think either one of you answered like what was necessary about No Way Home.
That's the necessary part.
I think the points that you just made apply to Far From Home more better than No Way Home.
No Way Home is perfect. It sets him. He's by himself now. He's that's it. And even to a higher degree, it's like you brought him back to where now he's Tobey Maguire. And he's Andrew Garfield. He's a Spider-Man that no one knows about. Yeah. And he's by himself. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it reversed it. It reversed the direction.
Okay. It gives a clean slate so that going forward, you literally could do any story that you want because that movie set it up that, hey, nobody knows. No one MJ doesn't know him. His best friend doesn't know him.
He is by himself. No Aunt May. Yeah. He already had his I
have a problem with that too.
His Parker moment, his Uncle Ben moment. Yep. Boom. Like he's had his what do they call it? The in Spider-Verse? His canon moment. Canon moment. Yeah, he's already had his canon moment. He's locked in. He's by himself.
And I think he like accepts it. Like he now knows, like, yeah, it's just me.
Yep, and he's mature enough for it now, too.
He can really carry that mantle of, I'm Spider-Man, and we as the viewer are like, cool, we've done all that stuff already. We don't have to reintroduce him. This is how you got your powers. It's like, no, we know who you are.
Yeah. I'll give you all that. I think that the way that they resolved it was good.
Yeah, we saw his
it's the other 90% of No Way Home.
I think we need to watch it again.
I will watch it again. After this, I'll watch it again. But it was mostly. I mean, I think y'all will agree. It was mostly fan service, right? Like they had a lot of it. They even had them point at each other.
That was excellent.
Perfect.
That's excellent. That was excellent.
That was like the top.
That was top tier.
Yeah, exactly.
Sensational.
Sensational.
Respectfully,
Okay.
sensational.
Did nothing for the story. Just we can agree on that, right? Like it wasn't necessary for the story.
Did it
Absolutely not.
everything
Fan
for
service.
the story.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Probably a little.
Yeah.
I can see where you're saying little fan service.
Let me pull this back to Brave New World, just to make sure that we have discussed what we expect from the movies. We talked about end scenes.
Yep.
Yeah.
We talked about our expectations. Well, you guys talked about your expectations for Cap. I don't have a whole lot of expectations for him, just based off of like Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You know what? What did you think, since you judged the shows a little bit more, to a higher standard? What did you think about Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
Loved it.
Loved it.
And the reason why is I wasn't expecting him to have that speech at the end.
Right.
Where one, I wasn't expecting the Isaiah Bradley insertion. I thought it was just going to be sort of like the scene where you have Cap and I don't know, Sam Wilson and T'Challa in the car. It was going to be something like comic-y, something. So that, I thought it was going to be that. So for it to go in that direction, I'm like, oh snap, there was a black Captain America before that Captain America, and then for him to pick up the mantle and be like, this is a no-win for me. Like, I'm a black dude carrying the Stars and Stripes. How America doesn't want me to do this. And then if I'm similarly to like black folks who look like me are gonna be like, you for real? Like, you're Captain? So for him to acknowledge that, to say it, and to also then take it on, I was just like, all right, thank you.
Art imitates life.
For real.
That's what your boy Anthony Mackie is doing.
Oh, I thought you were gonna
Right.
turn it to Kendrick Lamar somehow. In the Super Bowl halftime.
And so I appreciated that of the show, and I just thought it wasn't about so much. I don't even remember what the villain's name is, what her name was. It was about three people. One, Anthony Mackie was like, yo, I'm carrying the Stars and Stripes, but I'm conflicted. Isaiah Bradley was like, hey, yo, they had me there, and then they offed me off to the side over here. And then the dude who got that white dude was like, yo, you definitely should not be touching those, because you are exactly what America is. This is America right here, personified of like the moment you get the moment you get the shields to do what you did. It's like any person of color is like, yeah, I can see that coming. We could call that a mile away. That dude was going to do what he did. So
John Walker,
right?
Who, by the way, do you know who the actor that plays John Walker is?
No, not at all.
Do you know who he is? Mm-mm. His name is Wyatt Russell.
Oh, yeah. Another Russell.
Do you know his name is Wyatt Russell? Now, do you know why that's significant?
Kurt Russell?
It's Kurt Russell's son.
Yeah. Talk about nepotism. This is America.
Nepotism. You call him a nepo, baby?
He's a nepo.
Who's
his daddy?
Okay. I thought he did a good job with the role. I mean, to your point, you think about the
really
villains
well
that are brought out and you, but I guess that's not.
But that's why I liked Falcon in Winter Soldier. I thought that last scene when he brought it all together of like, hey, yo, we just did all of this, and now I am Captain America, and I know America doesn't want to see me as Captain America, or they don't see me as Captain America, even if Captain America chose me. And exactly. Still, y'all are like, nah. You're a DI hire. Nope. Oh. So to have him be the guy, to have that other guy want to be the guy but was never chosen by the guy, and then to have Isaiah Bradley like, no, you were the first one, but they knew they would never accept you as the guy, as the man, so we had to go with the optics of it all. That to me, I was just like,
okay,
beautiful. And that was right after WandaVision, right?
I think
because it was WandaVision and then that was the WandaVision I thought was wonderfully done.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Oh, you watched WandaVision?
Yeah.
I didn't think you watched it. Okay.
Yeah, that was one of the ones I saw.
Yeah, it was really
that
good.
one was really good.
And then to have that, I was just like, all right, we've got 2 for 2. And then Loki came. I was like, man.
Now Loki's the mountaintop.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. For the TV shows, absolutely.
So, first of all, we're going to put a little bit of respect on Wyatt Russell's name.
Okay.
He was a former professional hockey player.
So he went from hockey to movies.
Perfect.
I don't think his dad helped him become a professional hockey player. Like, I don't think they were like, yeah, we're going to give Kurt Russell's his son a chance to be on our hockey team.
I don't think his dad's money helped him become.
I'm trying to give my boy a little bit of credit. All right,
I would also like to say, just because you get the hookup doesn't mean that you're not qualified to do the job.
I agree.
So I want to say that because I thought him I thought he did well. I don't want it to seem as if like I was hating on him, like he didn't do a good job. I thought he did a great job.
Hate shamelessly. Go ahead.
He was trash.
Another Dave Chappelle gift right here. Hey.
Nah, I don't care about Wyatt Russell. I'm just teasing. The second thing, I'm learning something about you. Yeah. The way that you consume things, you're not just looking for the performance, not just looking for the story. It's like you want this to mean something to you in some way, and if it does, then it's getting some extra credit from you, which is that's good.
Yeah, I recognize and acknowledge that the manner in which I consume media. And particularly this because so much of my youth was the literal comic books. I'll go dig it in the crates. Of like, I remember this, I remember this, I remember this. And so for me, it isn't simply, I'm going to spend a couple of bucks, nowadays $20+ to spend 2 hours. It's like, hey, there's got to be a little something there that calls to me like, oh, okay. You actually care about what it is that you're doing, and it's not solely a money grab.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
And that's just me. And I don't take my standard and be like, hey, yo, this is what it should be for everyone else. And I feel like that's what has happened. For sure. Is that an 100%. MCU fan now is just like, hey, yo, this has got to be a blockbuster. It's got to bring in $14 billion. And it's like,
who are you talking about? To whom are you referring? And
earlier when you said,
and why is he wearing a bucket hat?
Right. And you know what? Let's go deep into the hate. For you to say that a movie is trash and you haven't seen the movie, again, I gotta say, how can you hate on the club if you're not inside the club?
Man. You see,
at least come in.
You see those bullet holes
right
in the chest?
Like the Drake meme where he came out smoking on the bull. Insert Drake meme.
Exactly. No. Let's bring it back to community. Insert the paintball episode 1 paintball, where you got Jeff Winger just like and you put up Chang as his face. I'll be Jeff Winger.
I have to go see the Marvel movie now. You know what?
Wait a second.
The only thing I thought it was, and truthful honesty, I thought it had the Disney effect. I thought it had the Disney stink on it. Kind of like the whole Ray situation, where it was like, all right, they're bringing in these powerful female leads, but like they don't really know what to do with them, and they're just gonna throw them all in this one movie. Like the first one, it had the scroll or whatever have you, which is cool. But from what I heard about the second one, from what I understand about the second one, it really wasn't. It's like about them figuring out that they're all the same person, and if you're the same person with the same abilities or whatever have you.
Are you thinking about Madam Web?
Not thinking about Marvel. Yeah, it might as well be Madam Web.
That's
at that point.
I think he got caught in the same net.
And then they're bringing in someone who just from what I understand about the little girl character is she's recently new.
Girl. Wow.
She's recently new, and it's like you're not someone who's like,
and she's a person of color, so 2 strikes.
Yeah, 2 strikes bad. But it's like you're fresh. You're fresh. Like you came out in a video game, right? And then now you have this like comic series where it's fresh, but it's not like the fresh that captivates. It's not like the Miles Morales fresh, a retake. It's like you're the exact same character stuck in the movie with the other same character.
I disagree.
And a friend who is now the same character as well.
All right, clear out.
Yeah.
Clear out. What you got?
I disagree because this is where the TV show helps. So if you watch the TV show,
Which one?
Miss Marvel.
Oh, okay.
If you watch the TV show, then having watched the TV show, then you're like, all right, they were able to develop her. They were able to give her a little bit more. They were able to set it up so that when you then see her again, it's not like, yo, I just saw you once over here and then all of a sudden I see you again. How can you be like, how are you standing up with Captain Marvel as well as Rambeau? Where did you come from? It's like, oh, yeah, right. They had set that up in the TV show and hearkened to like, this is how she's going to be in there. And this is why I say with the TV show, over the course of that first season, they set it up so that when you see her again, you're like, oh, okay, you're not just a random, you're not just a DEI who's just dropped here. You're not just because you're a woman of color.
The TV show was Ms. Marvel, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it set it up so that when you saw her in the Marvels, it was like, okay, I know who she is. I already know who Captain Marvel is. I see how she's going to be connected to all of this. And in my opinion, it worked. Did I expect it to bring in $500 million? No, but I'm also like, I'm not expecting that from you. I just want you to be able to extend the story, which they did. They talked about the Bengals, what that's all about. They also talked about with Rambeau and how then she was able to cross over and start to bring in the mutants. There was a lot of, and they're alluding to her being sort of like the first, or she's the first, I think, mutant that they were like before Wolverine and all them. Where it's like, okay, this is how they're gonna bring it in. It wasn't explicit.
Is that comically correct?
No, but for what they mentioned, if you were a person who saw that scene and heard the then you're like, okay, I know what they're doing. I may not agree with it, but you're going to bring in the mutants for that.
So now she's the first mutant.
No. I'm not saying she's the first.
Taking that from Wolverine.
I'm not saying she's the first mutant. I'm saying that they alluded to like, hey, she might be a mutant.
Why are you gatekeeping?
I was just like, I don't know. I don't want her to introduce the mutants. I don't know if I like that too much. I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
I'd rather them be introduced in some other kind of fashion. But here's my question then, because now you got me curious about the movie. Does it do anything for the universe of Marvel? Or is it strictly just... you were going to ask that?
No, that's what I asked y'all about No Way Home. Now you
I'm curious. Because, is it just like a spinoff? Like it's just completely spinoff.
Don't answer him.
Finishing the movie, or finishing the storyline, kind of like a Black Widow, right? Mm-hmm. Like just about her family or whatever. Like you're gonna go somewhere else now.
You got Disney Plus. Go watch it.
You want me to watch? Have you seen it?
Nope.
Yo.
But we should. Like,
look. Let me get this clear. Straighten up, line up. Before you say anything, watch it first. Because I seriously just want to like judo chop him in the throat and then backhand over here. Like, if you haven't seen it, how can you say it's awful?
I didn't say it's awful. Just in my own defense, I said I haven't seen it.
All right, let me go for your Adams.
I'm gonna say this.
My guns.
I'm gonna say this.
Yes,
and this is kind of in jest, but not really.
Yeah,
y'all better watch it before they decide to take it off of Disney Plus. Because the main character's name is Kamala Khan.
Yeah.
And they might just decide to nuke it. I just so y'all better.
So you don't think it was... Never mind. You don't think it was Disney's peak of feminism /
It was.
Right? / inclusivity? There you go.
Sure.
You know
what I mean? So what?
How? So it wasn't a fan service? Like to that general appeal?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But
it didn't do anything for the Marvel Universe then?
No, I don't think the
no
two...
Eternals, no Thanos, no
Galactus. I'm not one who believes that you have just one and you can't have the other. Because you mean to tell me Deadpool and Wolverine wasn't for all them white boys who've been waiting to see these two come together?
Nope. Because they had Blade, so it wasn't just for the white boys.
We didn't know Blade was going to be in it. We didn't know Gambit was going to be in it.
Yeah, but then they came out, and then Star-Lord came out. Oh my word!
But what I'm saying is to say like, look, we know the purpose of Shang-Chi. We know the purpose of oh, that's the DC universe. But to say like, look,
Black Panther.
Okay. We know will you enjoy this?
1 and 2?
Absolutely. Will this move the story? Yes. And
so Marvel's was for the chicks then. Or is that what you said?
Marvel is for getting bucks. Disney is for this is capitalism.
B-U-C-K.
Speaking of money.
Yeah.
All right, speaking of money, we kind of talked about this when we talked about Dune.
That's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're doing it?
I can get down with it.
Okay.
That's right.
That is a deep, deep, deep universe too.
Deep lore right
Oh
there.
my goodness.
So
OG lore.
Yeah.
So let's take the Marvels,
Yep.
right? Came out in 2023. What do you think the budget was for the Marvels?
It's not going to be an Endgame. I'm going to say
The budget to make it, right? The budget
Yeah,
to okay.
Carol Danvers was the highest paid in that. So she's gonna at least 10 million. Kamala,
This is a math major, by the way.
yeah. And so I'm trying to do the numbers of like, all right,
Just go with your gut.
okay.
Ballpark.
I feel like 100 at least.
100 milli?
Yeah, for most Marvel movies, it's got to be around 100. If I know for Endgame, when you have all those, it's like 200-300, and they make that back. So for that, it was just the three of them. I'm gonna say 100 because I mean, Sam Jackson is in it, but he's not he doesn't take up that much time. So I'm gonna say 100.
What do you think? What do you think the budget? We're talking about
post-COVID?
We're talking about the Marvels budget, the production budget for the Marvels. What do you think it was?
I'll say 80.
Okay.
Say 80.
All right, y'all are both way off.
Wow.
The budget for the Marvels was $374 million.
Jeez.
Okay. And I'm not making a point here, but I just looked it up. The budget for Black Panther was $200 million, and the budget for Captain America: Brave New World is $180 million. So those two movies combined are about the same budget as the Marvels. Okay. But Marvel was doing 300. Quantumania was $300 million budget. They're doing $300 million budgets for basically everything for the past few years.
Okay.
And they're putting out movies that are not coming back with that. And I think the Marvels was the low point for them.
Okay.
From a commercial standpoint, I haven't seen it, so I'm not talking about
even more than Quantumania. I think Quantumania was like the lowest. I think that was the absolute
budget for the Marvels was $374 million, and the box office was $206 million.
Yeah.
And then Quantumania
lost money.
Yeah.
And I don't think any other movie has lost money. So let me look up Quantumania real quick.
feel like Quantumania, if it didn't lose money, then Quantumania definitely lost review and fans.
Yeah, for sure. No, Quantumania, $388 million budget, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Box office 476, so it definitely didn't do what they wanted it to, but it wasn't a loss.
Yeah.
And then you compare, the reason I brought up Dune is because both Dune movies came in at 180.
Wow. And those are like $1 billion back.
Yeah, and when you look at the production quality of them,
yeah.
And Chris Nolan does the same thing, 150. I think we looked up Oppenheimer. It was like 100, low 100.
Yeah, exactly. Like what?
So how is he doing? Chris Nolan and Denis Villeneuve are doing huge productions for $150 million, $180 million.
Crazy.
But everything Marvel touches comes in at $300 million or more.
It's the Disney effect. Everything
I think so.
Disney touches.
Yeah.
It's a Disney effect. Because I'm pretty sure if you look up those Star Wars stats, they're going to be the same exact thing.
We need more juice for the squeeze. I will say that. Even Quantumania, like it didn't even look good.
So you seen Quantumania?
Yes.
So in your opinion, which one would be? Did you like Quantumania?
I understood what they were doing. They were trying to. So short answer, no.
Got it.
Longer answer, more nuance. It's like, no, I understand why you are bringing this in, why you're introducing Kane, what the purpose was.
Yeah.
Did it hit? No.
Do you think they?
He's coming
I
back.
mean, Kane is such a big.
back.
I hope he does.
Because
the way they made him look was just kind of.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't the Kane of like, yo, this guy is about to throw something up. It was kind of like a jokey, oh, there's different Kangs, and then, this one's funny, and this was, It was kind of like, all right.
They were up to their eyeballs in the multiverse.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You got a bunch of different versions of Kang that they could do.
Yeah. But show like, you have to show some strength in that, like, you know what I mean? Like,
but they laid the groundwork for that. They laid the groundwork for that in Loki.
Yeah. That's true.
The TV show allows you to see like, oh, this dude is intelligent. This dude is this.
Yeah.
There's nuances to him. Whereas if you just look at the movie, then you're like, for real? This is what they're resting everything on?
He's selling me hard on Marvels, folks. I might have to go watch it after this. I'm not gonna lie.
Please.
I will. That's gonna be my research and next podcast. I'm gonna give my honest review. I've seen it and I can honestly say something about it.
All right. So what do you think Captain America Brave New World on a scale from 1 to 10?
Yeah.
Ooh. What do you think? What's your expectation? Where do you think it's gonna slide in? I'm gonna tell you right now. I think I'm thinking like if it hits a 6, it's a win.
Wow.
And that's my scale.
Yeah.
If it hits a 6 on my scale, I think it's a win, and I'm not sure that it's gonna do that.
I got high hopes. I think it's going to hit at least 7 or an 8.
Okay.
Yeah. In terms of story and in terms of action. And a little bit of fan service, because I know they're bringing back old people from the Ed Norton movie. I'm gonna give at least a 7 or an 8 prediction.
I was going 8.
Yeah.
And for me, like I've been saying the whole conversation, how are you going to drive the overall story? Mm-hmm. Are you going to touch on the whole Isaiah Bradley, Sam Wilson being black men carrying this symbol or being a symbol, and what does that mean? I mean, for us to even have a Red Hulk now, and again, knowing the story why that as well, I'm just like, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And like I also said, if you can advance the whole Hulk world, then I feel like that's a win as well. And I just think Moff Gideon is dope. I'm really just like
Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah.
Han Solo as Hulk is pretty crazy too, right? Like, that's a double win right there.
You want to talk about people who are actors? Like Harrison Ford is a dope actor.
Yes, he is.
Esposito is a dope. Exactly. Esposito is a dope actor from
Harrison Ford is 82 years old, playing a comic book character.
Yeah,
playing the Hulk, the Red Hulk.
That's amazing.
Yeah, amazing. Shout out to Harrison Ford.
Range.
Please come on the podcast.
Yeah. Range. So that for me, I'm like, yeah.
So
that's why I think it'll be.
So I'm saying 6, 7 or 8.
Yes,
8. Okay, so you guys, I told him this. If you hadn't put this group together to go see it, it was a Disney Plus for me. It was a Disney Plus for me because I'm and it's not because I vote with my dollars.
Yeah.
It's like y'all have not been giving me what I want, what I think you should be giving me as far as the quality is concerned. And so it's like I'm gonna wait until y'all earn that back. But you made a good point earlier. Like, hasn't Marvel given us enough? Now, I don't mean that they have my money into perpetuity, like forever, but it's a good kind of recalibration of my standard for Marvel movies.
For me, and the only reason why for me is because of Anthony Mackie.
It's fair.
Like, I'm thinking about Thunderbolts already, ready for Thunderbolts. I'm like, the trailer looks dope. But yeah, I think I'm going to wait till Disney Plus because like you.
Yeah.
I'm like, isn't Thunderbolts like the last of this phase?
Yes.
I think so.
So like, all right.
Last one in phase.
End the phase out. Boom, boom, boom. I don't feel like that is captivating enough for me, like you said, to like vote with my dollar to go drop $20+ to go see that in the theater. Yeah, I can wait till it comes out. But because it's Mackie, because of all the things like I just said of like, I thought Falcon and Winter Soldier, that last scene where he's explaining all he's explaining, I would love to see your you as Cap standalone.
Nah, you coming with us to see Thunderbolts.
A Bucky appearance would be crazy too.
Oh, Bucky's
pretty nice. Well, I mean,
okay.
Yeah, the movie.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be pretty. Is he already on the list for credits?
Not at what I'm looking at.
I think that'd be pretty cool.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
But for what?
The return of Hydra. It's either the leader or Hydra that's making the antagonist going down here.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So we're on our way to go see Captain America: Brave New World. We're looking forward to it.
I
am. Yeah. I hope this is the return.
Yeah. So we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna be with friends. So
absolutely.
There we go. That's our preview and our State of Marvel discourse. And we're gonna talk about. We're gonna have some reactions to the movie later on. Also. All right. Before we let you out of here, though, the Haitian Hero.
It's tradition here.
The Creole Champ.
Yes.
What we need from you is a life hack. Something that you think, just a little tip that you think will help people, just make their lives a little bit easier.
Yeah. Folks, walk into the club before you hate on the club.
Oh, my goodness.
All right. If you heard that the hamburger is awful, go taste it for yourself. If you want to have an opinion about the hamburger, go taste it for yourself. As a person who is originally from the East Coast, I've heard many things about this restaurant called In-N-Out. Fantastic. What they don't tell you is about them fries. And if you don't have those fries animal style, or if you just have those fries straight up, yes, you will be disappointed. But if you haven't tasted them, you can't say jack. So my life hack is walk into the club. Experience it. Even if you walk in and after 5 minutes you're like, this is not for me, cool. You now can form an opinion.
Shots.
But in the words of Chris, he should have been playing Michael Jackson Brown. How are you going to hate from outside the club? You can't get in. Walk in.
I want everyone to know that this is an impromptu. He had a different life hack lined up.
Like,
nah.
So you tell me if you go and buy a burrito and you're like, hey man, this thing gave me explosive diarrhea and I'm sick to my stomach.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I gotta try it for myself. I'm gonna go back right after
No.
and eat the same burrito.
But you are the kind of person that would try it for yourself, though.
How is that?
Did your cocktail?
By many advisors, it says.
Have you asked any questions to this individual? Was it solely, I heard that this burrito was awful and then that's it?
Just TikTok?
Right. That to me is the part that I'm just like, wowzers, this is where we are?
I have heard that this burrito stinks. But You know what? There's under new management. So now I'm going to go and try the burrito.
Even if it's like...
give you my honest opinion.
Right. That for me is... And that's my life hack. As the Haitian hero, the Creole champ. My life hack is... Try it for yourself.
Try it. You'll like it.
If you're going to form an opinion about something, yes, I think you need to be able to say, from my personal point of view, I like this such and such. Or at least hit them with the asterisk like the Thunderbolts. I haven't tried it. I've only heard that this TV show is trash. Then as a listener of that, then I'm going to be like, oh, okay. You've given me that you haven't tried this. You heard from so-and-so that it's bad. Okay, I can respect that.
That's a life lesson.
That's a life, that's a life principle, right? A principle in which to guide your steps through this thing we call life.
All right. Appreciate the life.
Life. Actual life.
Do you have one?
Yeah.
Did he take all the way down?
If you get diarrhea from a burrito, I don't know if I have a life hack now. I do. If you have a pimple or a blemish on your face and you just don't want to have a pimple patch on it or something that looks weak as a guy, just put a big Band-Aid on it and people will think you got in a bar fight or something, and then it's cool. And then you're set, right? And nowadays, 2025, we have these Band-Aids that match people's skin, flesh colors now.
Not for long.
Exactly.
That's not gonna go
exactly.
You're gonna ban those too.
It's
Just back to the regular Band-Aids.
It's BEI. They're gonna revoke funding for
All the bags gonna be yellow, like Apple emojis.
Simpsons colored Band-Aids.
color neutral Band-Aids. Clear Band-Aids from now on.
Exactly.
To show your skin color through it.
Oh,
That's
man.
crazy.
All right. I don't think I have a life hack, man. Without recycling, y'all took the wind out of my sails big time. Man,
Glad I could be of service, y'all.
goodness. I guess that does it.
That's crazy.
Man, so
You got one at least, no?
you want me to recycle one? Which one did I not? Are we not going to use? You know what? Actually, I want an audience. I want a third party, a neutral third party for this one. This is the one that you couldn't believe.
Which one?
All right. So before you do laundry, actually, I meant to send you. I should have sent you a picture yesterday.
There's no way you actually.
I should have sent you a picture yesterday. So I wear a lot of dress socks.
Mm-hmm.
I wear a lot of Nike Elites.
Okay.
All right. So they're all like crew length socks.
Okay.
And one of the hardest things about doing laundry is pairing up your socks, right? Have you ever had that experience?
Yes.
Okay. So what some people do is they put their socks in a garment bag, you know, like a delicates bag, and you know, that doesn't work for me. It's an extra step. It's an extra piece of equipment. So what I do when I take my socks off, I just tie them together.
Okay.
At the very top. I tie them together, I put them in the hamper, then they get washed that way, they get dried that way. And that way when I take my laundry out of the dryer, all of my socks are already paired together.
Got it.
I don't have to find them, I don't have to match them. All I have to do is
Untie
them, roll them, and put them away.
Top of your socks, you're just
So
dang.
no, they're not.
And the soap doesn't touch them.
I mean, I'm not
Their
tying,
fabrics are just tied in so tight.
I'm not tying them for a cross-country road trip so that they'll never budge. I'm just tying them so that they stay together. And
Don't get lost.
Sit down the zip line in an action movie.
Last Action Hero.
Yeah. All right. So what's your thoughts about that? The quality of that life hack. Have you ever heard of that before?
I have not.
Okay. Would you try it?
I would not.
Wow.
And the reason why, and my reasoning behind that is, you're like putting it into a garment bag is an extra step. Where I feel like tying you're tying and then untying are two steps that, likewise, and two. Again, I haven't agreed much with Seth, but I likewise just see.
But you'll stand united against.
And this, when it comes with the socks, I could just see just some frail top socks of like falling down because they've been tied over and over again.
Okay.
Whereas if you just threw it in the garment bag, it'd be good.
The socks are just faded,
By
but
the time-
the very top is just full.
By the time
color.
this runs, you both will see proof of concept. Matter of fact, we're gonna put it in the episode.
Got it.
Crazy.
We need judgment on this. 'Cause,
It's getting edited in.
and my sock game is clean. Like you know what I'm saying? The stocks stay, you know what I'm saying? They stay crispy. So anyway, all right. So that's our Marvel discourse. Captain America: Brave New World. We're on our way to see it now. We hope it's good. We'll see what happens.
6, 7, 8.
Appreciate our special guest for this conversation, Mr. Willie Pierre.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for being a good sport. Thanks for holding Seth accountable.
Yeah.
I can't do it all on my own.
That's crazy. Hot take Seth. I'll have my revenge. I can't wait to watch it and still say it's trash. The taste of that victory is gonna be crazy.
But with that, there will be no, like, at least on my end, I'm not going to fight you. I'll be like, cool, tell me why you dislike it. And then you could actually give me
And
something.
then I'm gonna roll out a CVS level receipt.
Bring them out. I am okay with that.
And just fumble through all the coupons.
Yeah. I am up for the discourse of why you dislike the Marvels. Why, if you do watch Miss Marvel and the TV show, why you
I
dislike
watched the
it.
TV show too, man.
What was the other thing that you were like?
I'm locked in
You
there.
hadn't seen yet.
He hasn't watched Community.
Oh man,
Yeah,
6 seasons of movie.
The movie's coming out
Yep.
at some point.
Yeah,
I got homework to do.
yeah, yeah,
That's perfect though.
yeah.
All right.
I've been needing some shows to watch.
Yep.
Go live.
Yes, sir.
So that's there we go. Appreciate our special guest. Shout out to Willie.
Yes.
Shout out to the whole crew who's going to see the movie. We'll be back with reactions. For now, this has been The Kick with
Seth
and Fred. Did you tell him about the name?
Oh yeah. My name is The Kick.
He's like, that means nothing to me.
Absolutely don't care.